Hi, welcome back to the Veranda Report. Here we have guest Daniel Heley, local comedian. Good to have you on, brother.
Nice having me on. Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been a long time. One of the things that we talked about last time we had you that we have from the lost tapes was the way you even got into America, which is really interesting that I hope you would share with us again right quick.
Yeah. So I was adopted, and my parents tried to get me out of the country the normal way with a passport.
Right.
And when they were going through TSA, the officer there said, no, paperwork no good. And during the time in 96, I guess, I was 19 months old. During the time, communism was being kind of overthrown, or dictatorship. The miners were kind of tired of this dictator that was running the country. So basically, they did a coup, and the country was kind of in turmoil. So my paperwork wasn't good. Technically, I didn't have a country. So we went back out to the terminal area, and they had a taxi driver named Boogie. And Boogie's like, "Why you no go?" My dad's like, "His paperwork's no good." And he's like, "You come with me." They go around the corner to a corner store. My dad comes back, and my dad's like, "All right, let's go check, try this out." They're going through TSA, and the same officer that said, no, paperwork no good, says the same thing. He's like, no, paperwork no good. I already told you. My dad pulls out 2 cartons of cigarettes, Pall Malls, blues. He pulls out $200 in cash, American cash, looks around, just kind of slides it to the guy. He's like, Doce, which means go in Romanian. So he's like, yeah, go. And then we get to Boston, and I don't even really know that story with Boston, but they got me in somehow. I think with a some kind of fake passport. I don't know, some shit. My mom was sneaky about that shit. But here I am. And then I was 19 months old when I got to the States, and then literally when I turned 18, my parents are like, "Hey, you should probably take the citizenship." I was like, "Why?" And they're like, "Well, Obama's president. You should just, it should be easy enough for you to get citizenship."
So if I'm going to understand correctly, you had your adopted bombshell dropped on you at 18. You had you're not an American citizen bombshell dropped on you?
It's not necessarily that I was an American citizen, because I've been here for 18 years.
Right.
They just wanted to, I don't even want to say legitimize it. They wanted to basically make sure that I was an American citizen. So, like, it was a 50-50 toss-up for those 18 years. And I think once I turned 18, they're like, he's going to be on his own eventually. And if he does, like, ICE does go after him,
yeah, or they
he's
look
not
for
going
a
to know
birth
what's going
certificate.
to, yeah, right. They,
Yeah.
no idea what's going on. So I'm happy just going and taking, I didn't even take a test. I literally went in, they're like, sign this. Like, all right, they're like way over there. It's
Hell
like,
yeah.
it looked like the DMV, literally. That's what it looked like. And then they're like, stand up and, right hand and repeat after me. Did the whole pledge to the U.S. and everything, and then you get to go up and, like, raise your hand and get a certificate saying you're a U.S. citizen. That's really easy. Signed by Barack Hussein Obama.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's really easy underneath that administration. The kids in cages king right there.
Right.
Well, what made you interested in politics?
I've always been interested in politics.
Where do you think you can remember that stemming from?
My parents, for sure. They always told me right is right, left is wrong, basically. Not that, like, they taught me, like, democratic things too. I don't know if it's really democratic. I feel like this is more conservative, like, just treat everyone equally. Like,
Yeah.
everyone says that's more of a democratic thing, like the blacks are
Well-
going to vote for us or whatnot, like, Democrats are friends with black people. I'm friends with black people, and I'm a conservative. So I'm like, it's not true. It doesn't really fall through.
It really depends on how you evaluate what they perceive to be equality, because one wants equality of opportunity, the other
Right.
one wants equality of outcome, and one is a socialist aspect, which is, I'm sure, what your parents were trying to get away from in the first place.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's definitely not outcome. They want the other one, I think.
Yeah, the equal opportunities. That
Yes,
way everyone has
yeah.
the same exact starting point, but they're trying to
I
make
mean,
it to where.
equal opportunities leads into capitalism, and I believe capitalism is the oil or the bread of the world, kind of like. Without capitalism, what do we have?
Right.
We have socialism, which turns into communism, which turns into dictatorship eventually.
Real quick, I have a question about your comedy.
All right.
Okay, so you started 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Okay. How is taking the stage now versus taking the stage when you started?
So I started at JJ's Alley. Shout out to JJ's.
Okay.
Um, it's just like a little hole in the wall about the size of this room bar.
Oh, wow.
2 stories. We may have had 12, 13 people, not counting the comedians, in there, and I sucked. It was terrible that night. I still have the recording, and it was terrible. And then my last recording, or my last set at the comedy club, was probably one of my best sets because I just kind of riffed off of it. I didn't even really prepare for anything. I did do one of my prep jokes. I didn't carry anything, surprisingly. Usually it carries something, like a laugh or two. It didn't carry anything at the comedy club, so probably won't be using that one again. I might be using it at small places, but not at the club. But I told a Donald Trump joke just because I went 16th and everyone was shitting on him.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, I'm not gonna shit on him, but I'm not gonna like make him look good either. Like I'm a comedian. I gotta be neutral.
So you have to play your cards right being a comedian and a conservative because of how, as coming up, you can already be taken down before you even have a chance to start.
Right. Yeah. That, and
Thank you.
it's not even the fans I'm worried about. It's more of the comedians themselves.
Oh, wow. Dog eat dog.
Yeah, definitely a dog eat dog world.
So the comedians that you run with, would you consider them to be?
I have no idea. There is one I know, but I'm not really wanting to share what his beliefs are. But
Right.
like the thing is, like, I believe everyone knows who I am because I don't really hide it. I'm fucking who I am.
Right.
My belief is my belief. I'll tell you what's right or wrong, or my opinion at least, in the subject. Someone did ask me straight up, who'd you vote for? I'm like, who do you think I voted for? And they're like, Trump. I'm like, yeah. I'm not going to hide it or anything. And they're like, why? I'm like, so I'm going to assume you voted opposite. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, why him? And he's like, answer my question. I'm like, I started going into it and I stopped myself. I'm like, we're comedians, dude. I don't want to go into this with you because we're here to better ourselves as comedians, not as politicians. Like, we don't really need to discuss this. This is work. Like, if you really are going to be a comedian, every set you go to, whether it's a small open mic or the comedy club, you treat it like a job. That's how I treat it. I don't really hang out much. I have been hanging out just to get to know everyone and try to get more of a feel now that I'm single.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I've been doing. But I try to get in, get out, do my set as fast as possible. Well, do my set and then maybe have a drink or two and get out there.
All work, no play, no politics.
I try to stay out of politics with comedy. My podcast is another thing, but that's for a little bit later. Does your glass have what?
Yeah, that's a Crown. Crown Royal glasses.
Oh my God.
Came with the purchase.
That is awesome.
Love it. That's HT.
I'm so mesmerized. I can't talk.
Mesmerized.
Thank you. Buy that.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing this, man?
This not that long, honestly. Most of this was getting the setup done. The rest of it has been a couple interviews here and there and trying to get other aspects of production going. So it's a lot of backwards integration where you usually have a fan base or content, and then you make a studio, right? We made our studio, created the content, and now we're going to get our fan base.
So basically you put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll get something.
Total leap of faith.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, I'm going to have to mention you guys definitely on my podcast for sure. I just had a podcast the other night for like about 3 hours.
3 hours.
Oh, dude. We got just drunk and just hung out.
That sounds pretty good. And
Ate street tacos and like talked about everything and nothing, from politics to
how long
comedy.
ago was this?
Sunday night.
You still have street tacos today from Sunday night?
So no, I made street tacos tonight. This is deer venison. I'm on a whole new lifestyle, by the way. I mentioned it in my podcast, but I started a whole new lifestyle. Like, I'm trying to eat cleaner. I want to eat wild game mainly, vegetables. I've cheated here and there already because I didn't have all the materials to make the street tacos, and I made enough to last me a few weeks. Like, I plan on doing nothing but street tacos and deer steaks. I have jalapenos, dude.
Deer steaks and jalapeno. Bro, I've never had a deer steak.
What? Okay, I'm gonna have to bring over deer meat for you guys and cook for you guys.
Like, I remember having deer meat whenever I was a little kid because my neighbors used to hunt like quite a bit.
It's very gamey. I'll admit that, very gamey. But if you like prep it right, it's good.
I've never even heard food be described as gamey.
You know how beef tastes?
Okay.
So imagine it a little. Less fat and just more the meat. So you take all that fat away because deer have zero meat or zero fat.
Extremely lean creatures.
Yes, extremely lean.
Wow.
So imagine basically a steak without any fat.
Isn't it called udamame?
I have no idea, man.
I don't know what it's called. That's gonna kill me. But there's a certain flavor to meat and broth that I think they call umame or something like that. It's umami.
Okay.
Pretty sure that's it. Yeah, that's the flavor that you're referring to when you say gamey, I think.
Maybe
like a broth or the taste of meat. Yeah, that's one of the 5 tastes.
Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Outside of salty, sour, bitter,
you
and
don't
sweet.
get any of those. You just get
a category of taste in food besides sweet, sour, salt, and bitter, corresponding to the flavor of glutamates, especially monosodium glutamate.
Yep.
Umami.
That's umami. Yeah.
Broth-like. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's very good though. Like if you use like, I hate to say it, probably a half a stick of butter, and you just what you do is you just baze it. Like you keep, and then you have bay leaf and salt and pepper and whatnot, and you're just, you're depending on how you like it cooked. I like it medium rare, so it's not there too long, and I'm just, dipping the butter back or, splashing the butter up and the bay leaves and everything and making sure it cooks and simmers, and then flip it one more time and eat it.
Wow. I like rare, so that's going to be interesting.
It's like, what, 2 minutes on each side and down the hatch?
Yeah. So usually I say I like my steaks mooing, but I don't know what sound a deer makes, so there's not going to be quite the same metaphor going on there. But
they grunt. I don't have my deer collar. I'd show you what a grunt sounds like. I need to go out and deer hunt this year. My dad keeps texting me. He's like, when do you want to go? I'm like, I need to go. Probably this weekend I'm going to try to go. Maybe go duck hunting Saturday night or Saturday evening and then deer hunt Sunday morning with him. I don't know. I need more deer meat. That's the main thing.
Hell yeah.
To last me till... My dad's like, how long are you going to do this diet? I'm like, it's a lifestyle. I'm not going to do it for a certain amount of year, like a certain amount of time. I'm going to do it for the rest of my life. And he's like, be careful. I guess, yeah. Because if you overload on just meat, you can shut your kidneys down and stuff. Like, you got to do vegetables and you got to do other stuff. You can't just do meat. But I want to try a lot more just game meat and vegetables, I guess. And I guess potato doesn't fall under that.
Right.
I can't eat fucking potatoes. It pisses me off.
Well, right now it is November, very end of, and you started 6 months ago, which means you started May. That's right before mask mandates and after a shutdown. So you started a performance art as a career in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah. It's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever done.
Is that probably what led to the podcast because of
100%, yeah.
Yeah.
So the podcast actually came before doing comedy. I probably started in March when I did the podcast or started, and that was just with me and my friends just goofing off and getting drunk and whatnot. And they were terrible podcasts. They were just like, what are we doing? We're talking into the mic. Oh, why? Just to talk, man. But yeah, I took all that down because I actually posted it. I was that drunk that I kept on posting everything. I was like, yeah, it sounds good.
Send it.
No edit, nothing. I sent it all. I had like 11 to 13 episodes out. I was like, oh, I got to take all this shit down. This is terrible.
What were your views like?
Like 30 maybe. It wasn't any good.
Yeah.
And I was just like, go ahead, take it down. And I restructured it just basically into a Joe Rogan, Bert Kreischer kind of podcast. I'm a big fan of Bert Kreischer, and obviously everyone loves Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
So I try to make it an interview, and I try to just like, if you want to, drink or just do whatever you want to do, I'm completely up for it. Like you do you. There's really no rules unless you're gonna shoot heroin, then you gotta leave.
Yeah. We gotta draw the line at drugs and violence.
Yeah.
At least we like to do that on the right side of the spectrum.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Well, real quick, I really am curious about the last time you performed publicly on a stage, because you mentioned JJ's.
Yes.
Okay, so where is JJ's bar?
JJ's Alley is downtown, right by Bricktown. It's right behind the baseball stadium. Hold on. I gotta get my cell phone. I'll tell you exactly where it is.
So this is in the city?
Yes, Oklahoma
Okay.
City. So I'm driving back and forth periodically from OKC to... It's on Sheridan Avenue, by the way, guys.
Do you live in OKC? Or
No, I live in Stillwater.
Okay.
It's off Sheridan and Mickey Mantle Drive, guys. It's a hole-in-the-wall place. And then, yeah. I drive back and forth, and everyone's like, you're fucking crazy. I'm like, yeah. I told someone, I'm like, I quit college to do comedy. And they're like, I think I'm going to literally be sick. And I'm like, really? And they're like, that's terrifying. You're just going to do comedy? I'm like, that's why I started podcasting.
What was your degree in?
Secondary education or history major with a minor in athletics, like athletic science or physical education, basically. I want to be a PE teacher and a football coach or some sort of thing like that.
So roughly about the same annual income as a comedian?
Give or take, yeah.
Yeah.
If I become decent enough, yeah.
Well, I mean, with the rise of the technological industry, man, my friend was flipping through TikTok, and we were looking at different live streams, and there are live streams of people who have 30, 50 viewers watching them get ready for work. Just talking, like putting on clothes and like putting on makeup and shit is really, really ridiculous to watch people do mundane tasks for entertainment, but it's happening. I literally thought that the video game industry would never, ever make it, because who the hell wants to watch someone else enjoy a video game that you're not playing? But it happened.
Like Twitch and all that.
Yeah. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
I can't get into that, dude.
Yeah, like, why would I watch you play a video game?
I'll go play it.
Yeah, that's like watching baseball or golf.
Yeah. Like, so, like, I watched a Twitch video. I'm like, dude, turn your camera. Dude, turn your camera. It's a Call of Duty game. I'm like, dude, turn around. Turn your camera around. Someone's behind you. I know it. The dude killed him. Started humping his body. I'm like, bro.
And there's no interaction as well.
I'm like, if I was playing, I always try to do a 360 wherever I move, just so I know the location.
Right.
Whether I get shot or not, it doesn't really make a difference, but I just want to know where I'm at.
All right, well, check him
we're
out.
good.
Check him out on the Heley Cast. This was Daniel Heley on the Veranda Report. Thanks for coming on, man.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it.